Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Are you struggling with sending post requests using fastAPI? You're not alone. Many developers have faced this issue, and today we're going to break it down and understand why your post request might be executing as a GET method instead. In this video, we'll dive into the possible reasons behind this issue and provide a clear explanation of how to resolve it. So, let's start by understanding what happens when you send a post request using fastAPI. When you use the @app post decorator in your root, fastAPI expects the client to send a post request with a payload, usually in JSON format. However, if the client doesn't send the correct headers or payload, fastAPI might interpret it as a GET request instead. One common reason for this issue is that the client might not be setting the content type header correctly. When sending a post request, the client should set the content type header to applications. If this header is missing or incorrect, fastAPI will default to handling the request as a GET method. Another possible reason is that the payload might not be formatted correctly. Make sure that the JSON payload is properly formatted and doesn't contain any syntax errors. You can use tools like JSON to validate your JSON data. It's also important to check the client-side code that's sending the post request. Ensure that the correct method is being used, e.g., fetch or axios, and that the headers and payload are being set correctly. Let me illustrate this with an example. Imagine you're building a RESTful API for creating new users, and you have a route defined like this: @app post users. When the client sends a post request to this endpoint, fastAPI expects a JSON payload containing the user data ... However, if the client doesn't set the correct headers or payload, fastAPI will interpret it as a GET request instead. To summarize, when sending post requests using fastAPI, make sure the client sets the content type header to application.sum, and the JSON payload is properly formatted and free of syntax errors. The client-side code uses the correct method, e.g., fetch or axios, and sets the headers and payload correctly. That's it for today's video. We hope you now have a better understanding of why your post request might be executing as GET methods in fastAPI. If you have any questions or need further clarification, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more programming content. What's the most common issue you faced when working with fastAPI? Share your experience in the comments below.